フルカウンター
Alright boys, so Season 2 banner is about to leave in 5 days time, and today we're going to go over should you actually go back in and summon it if you've already done your summons, or should you continue summoning, right? I think most of us can agree this has by far been the best banner of the game so far, and I think the big thing about this game is seasonal characters. Seasonals, obviously at the moment we don't know how they're going to return. Asta, Yamimoso, the Season 1 characters, and they have not yet returned. So the fact these characters are exclusive, it really does make them a must-have and kind of things you want to chase out and kind of keep going for, right? So I think personally myself, I have a couple crystals and tickets saved up. Honestly, I might go back in, especially when we go over what's coming next. The lineup's not looking too crazy. Now I will say, once the banner does actually leave in 5 days time, it will then update with this banner where you can actually get them on this banner. However, you can't guarantee them, so if you do hit pity, you're not actually guarantee a seasonal character, or you're not even guaranteed a seasonal mage. You could just get a skill page. So there is some drawbacks if you want to wait until it gets added to this ticket banner. But I guess the positive would be the fact that Veto and also Raya are now in this banner, so you have a chance to pull them. Literally yesterday I did a single and got Veto, so that was kind of nice. Now, obviously, with these seasonal characters, you can guarantee one for free. And obviously, I do heavily recommend Noelle. She's by far the best character in the game. So she's a must pick up. And if you could somehow spend money on JP and KR, then you can just buy the Battle Pass and get her skill page guaranteed, which once again, I heavily recommend. But if you go towards the SSR shop, you can spend 10 SSR duplicates to buy 2 copies of this one. Once again, unless you have an abundance, I really wouldn't recommend too much of it. But if you really want the skill page because you pulled Noelle, you got the guarantee Noelle, it's definitely worth picking up. And we're going to go through the actual skill page in a second. So is it worth summoning? Honestly, I think so. I think all 3 characters are probably top tier. Obviously, Noelle being by far the best character in the game. Ghost is being slept on a little bit, but I think more people are going to see more use in him. And is generally a good character as well. Just 3 top tier characters on one banner, all being limited. But in this game, we do have a dupe system. And we're going to go over the actual passives and what you should be unlocking because, yeah, they're quite important. So, Noelle, I think, is by far a must-have to get to tier 2 at least. You can see when you do get Noelle to actually 2-star awakening, you're going to get a barrier. Now, the barrier is very, very weak, but that's not the point. The point is you have one little barrier on you. So, your actual AoE skill is doing maximum damage. And when you have a counter on, you can then do more damage as well. It's something you must have. And just once again, good for PvE farming. I mean, Noelle is by far one of the best PvE farmers, just the best character in the game. So to have a constant 30% damage increase no matter what is very, very nice without relying on using your tier 2 skill, which returns every 3 turns. However, when you get the character to 5-star awaken, this is where it changes. Rather than applying a barrier, you're going to apply protection of water, which I believe she can counter them. So you get a barrier and the actual, basically your tier 2 skill to herself. It is very, very nice. You also get a massive CC bonus. So this is a character, I think out of anyone in the game, you want to get 5-star because the buff is massive. And it's kind of got me worried a little bit because they've been kind of okay with these actual 2-star awakenings. The fact that you get it quite early, while you're still fine and you still get the barrier, still nice. But the difference between 2-star to 5-star is massively different. And once again, we don't know these characters can return, so this is very much tempting me to go back in. Also, her actual passive, obviously it does buff up a tier 2 skill, but if you want to put this on any character, but it more or less benefits Noelle, which is obviously a good thing, right? Is that simply when she takes damage, she's a 20% chance to make a barrier of the 5% of the damage they just dealt to you, which once again is very, very small, but you have it to 6-star awakening. That small little shield can make you do a counter back, which is massive. So yeah, for Noelle alone, definitely keep on summoning. I mean, the next characters coming out aren't too crazy. It looks like it's going to be Kahano and Oza Kayato. To be fair, those characters might be broken and we'll see this Wednesday. But the thing is, once they leave, they're going to go into the general SSR and you can just pull them again later on. They're most likely going to be in the start of the next season's banner, which once again might be a must summon because seasonal banner is just by far probably the best value right now in this game, especially if you are free to play like myself. So for the time being, I definitely recommend going in for this banner if you still don't care about others. Ghost, when you actually get him to 2-star awakening, he can apply more intense sunlights to his character, which basically gives the damage increase that cannot be removed and can stack up to, I think, 3 or 5 times, which once again will help him max out his passive even faster. This is actually generally a pretty good skill to have. And it looks like when you get to 5-star awakening, skill 2 and the special move is going to grant sunlight. So once again, more ways to actually buff up the team. Definitely a good thing to get up, especially if you get someone getting the 5-star awakening. But I think in comparison to Noelle, especially since she's a better character, is if you can choose who to go for, definitely pick Noelle over him. But I guess it's a gacha, so you can't really choose all the time. Alright, so the passive wording in game is a bit weird, but basically what it means is, upon landing a crit, the character has a 50% chance to apply 10% damage increase taken to all enemies for 2 turns. Does not stack, as a quite low. But if you get towards 5-star awakening, it then has a 100% chance if you do crit a character, which again is kind of nice. I would have wished the neutralize would have went up a little bit, but in comparison towards the actual 3 characters that we've seen so far, Noelle is by far the most important one. Then obviously Ghost, I think, is probably by far the next best one. This one's just more guaranteed, more reliable, especially if you get a 6-star awakening or 5-star awakening. It's just 50% still a high chance, and the debuff's not too crazy, right? Well, I think you can still reliably get that debuff to proc, even at 50%. Another thing I want to talk about is the skill pages. While yes, you can spend universal SSR shards to level up your actual SSR mages, you can't do that for actual skill pages at the moment, right? Might change in a few weeks' time, but essentially, you know, we don't know when your characters can return, but at least you can still dupe them out. So you can pull one Noelle and then somehow max around like 5 months in the future when you get enough SSR shards, but for the skill page, you can't really do that, right? And once again, these are all catered towards the characters. So if you really want to use a character in the future, you see a lot of longevity in them, like Noelle, like Gosho, you know, if you really like those characters, then I would recommend just keep on summoning, try and get the skill pages, buy them in the shop if you get more SSR dupes to max them out, because I mean, kind of already went through Noelle's, but I don't really see the use in all 3 of these being used on other characters, more or less themselves. So, for example, Yuno just had a 40% chance to block HP recovery on an enemy upon landing a crit, which, you know, maybe meta in the future. I mean, we did see most sun healers are still quite relevant, and you can imagine as we get in the future and we get more healers or support types in the game that isn't just Mosa, healing could be a thing, and this could be a good skill bridge to have that you can't go back and get because it's a seasonal. This one, for Ghost, it seems very specific towards a meta coming, or I don't know what we're even talking about here. So, essentially what it does is, at the start of wave, you have a 20% chance to actually apply damage over a time immunity, so basically burn, poison, bleed. But if it doesn't work, you're guaranteed poison immunity, which, who even has poison? I'm not entirely too sure. So, maybe in the future we get like a really guaranteed poison character. This can just guarantee counter that basically, which is going to be nice. So, this could be a longevity skill once again. Might be useful in the future, but we just don't know. We kind of went through Noelle's already, but it's good to have just for her because, once again, more ways to get barriers means more damage for her. So yeah, should you keep summoning, I definitely recommend it. I think, honestly, I'm probably going to go back in before the banner does leave myself and see if we can pull Noelle's because I think I'm going to have a 3-star awakening, so I kind of want to pull 2 more, and I wouldn't mind getting other dupes for other characters because I do want to unlock their 2-star awakening without actually spending any of my actual universal SSR shards. Other than that, one thing I'm looking for, and I think you lot should be looking for too, is probably Fauna. I think Fauna's definitely a little bit sleeper. She's just so good, bro. It's generally insane. And then by far the best thing as well, I think, about the skill pages is Fauna's skill page. If you can somehow pull Fauna's skill page, which I know the rate is really low, it's not only good for her, but by far the best attacker set in the game. By far the best skill page for attackers in the game. I mean, 10% magic attack and also attack base. Just put on any DPS, you're getting a massive buff. Once again, you can't get it in this future, but I think just the fact that it's on this banner right now is, once again, quite nice. So, boys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you lot are doing. Are you going to keep on summoning? Like I said, I'll probably have another summon video later in a few days once I kind of get all my free-to-play gems maxed out as much as I can, and we might go back in. But I will see what Kahono and also Kayata do before summoning, even though I don't really think I'll be summoning for those. But Dorothy might be coming soon, and I want to get her too. So it's a tricky situation. So, boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.